Welcome to Around the Peninsula. I'm Katusa Private Min Young Choi. Not everyone in the Air Force is a pilot. Katusa Private Yoonchan Jang introduces an airman who is not a pilot but still finds a way to fly.
Air Force Tech Sergeant William Ushnewitz works long hours behind his desk, troubleshooting technical difficulties as an information assurance officer. He spends his off-duty time in a much different setting, flying remote control airplanes.
It's an excuse to get out, you know, and just enjoy the outdoors a little bit, and just flying itself is a lot of fun.
The most common planes that you'll see in Korea are pretty much electric. This right here is just a basically a trainer aircraft, but it makes for really good video because it flies so stable. And surprisingly, rubber bands is what holds the wing on.
The remote control airplane is all put together and it's ready to fly. In addition to enjoying his unique hobby, it also allows him to see Korea from an angle most people don't get to see.
I enjoy doing video, aerial video with the plane, and just getting the scenery of Korea.
And for Sergeant Ushnewitz, who has bigger plans in the future, controlling RC airplanes is a learning experience.
Understanding the fundamentals of flight can be helpful for piloting a real plane as well as an RC airplane.
I've co-piloted a Cessna, but I was able to just handle controls. It was more just an introductory flight. I would love to, though. That is definitely a future endeavor of mine.
Katusa Private Yoonchan Jang, Seoul, Korea.
Be aware of the safety cautions that need to be followed when flying in an RC airplane. It's quite common for ROK and US airmen to work together in South Korea. Air Force Staff Sergeant Ashley Sitthideth gets one ROK airman's feelings about being part of a large operation.
Today is just another hard day of work for Republic of Korea Air Force Senior Master Sergeant Hyunwoo Kim. He is packing and loading assets onto containers that will be shipped back to the United States. His work today is part of a large operation involving 800 U.S. Air Force and ROKAF personnel.
I've been doing operations like these for a long time. But every time I do this operation, I feel different every time, and I feel worthy of doing this. And working with U.S. Air Force, I feel honored, and I believe that the ROKAF and United States Air Force brought up a great result, and I want to keep this relationship with the United States Air Force.
6,650 tons of material is being moved back to the United States in this operation that would not be accomplished without the hard work of many ROKAF airmen like Senior Master Sergeant Hyunwoo Kim.
Every time we're working, we're physically and mentally tired. But every time we do this work with the U.S. Air Force, we feel honored and happy with the results of our alliance. I want to maintain this relationship for a long time.
This operation will save thousands of man-hours over the next 10 years by eliminating time spent on maintenance and upkeep of excess resources. Saving man-hours allows personnel to focus on other critical tasks to enhance readiness. Air Force Staff Sergeant Ashley Sitthideth, Suwon Air Base, Korea.
This operation is only the first phase of a massive realignment of Peninsula assets happening over the next few months. Saving energy saves money. Senior Airman Rebecca Stout shows us how Kunsan Air Base plans to save a chunk of change.
These contractors are installing a new lighting system in Dorm 535 at Kunsan Air Base. This system is part of an energy and money-saving initiative, and Dorm Manager Staff Sergeant Lindy Leggett says the change is all in your key card.
The contractor started in January, going through each room, changing out the lighting system in the quads, so there's sensors. In each room, they're going to have to put their key card in a card reader in order to turn on their light and also for their HVAC to work.
As the Air Force continues to look for ways to trim its expenses, Staff Sergeant Leggett says the changes will pay off.
Budget constraints, the Air Force is trying to cut out on how much they spend. On Kunsan alone, 535 energy is 6% of the bill. So it's a good little chunk. And any way the Air Force can save money, they're trying to. Over 4.5 years, it'll save the Air Force $540,000.
It's a big number and a simple action. Turn off your lights and don't forget your key. Senior Airman Rebecca Stout, Kunsan Air Base, Korea.
Building 535 will house over 500 airmen at Kunsan. Teaching our service members and their families how to manage their spending is a critical part of financial readiness. Specialist Marquetta Gibson shows us how one Army Community Service program increases financial awareness.
Military spouses come together with their children to attend the Army Community Service Financial Planning and Kids Playgroup event for Camp Carroll's Military Saves Week kickoff.
This is my 6th year doing Military Save Week. We decided to do the playgroup because we want the families in this area to start thinking about the future of their kids.
The ACS Financial Readiness Program partnered with the Community Bank to assist soldiers and their family members by providing education on financial self-sufficiency.
You're very attentive. I like that. This is my first time to do this military savings. We need to have plan. It's better to have plan now, especially if we have kids, because next thing we know, they're going to go to college. It's better to be prepared.
The children were not only taught about saving money for their future, they were able to paint piggy banks, giving them the chance to learn and bond with their parents.
I think the activity was good. I had the opportunity to talk to some of the parents. They're starting to ask me questions about what is the right amount that I have to have for savings, and they were asking me questions about what we were talking. So if you learn the skills while you are young, you are going to be more successful in the future.
Specialist Marquetta Gibson, Camp Carroll, Korea.
Military Saves Week has been encouraging service members and their families to take part in the Military Saves Pledge since 2007. Sometimes service members get an opportunity to do something they won't soon forget. Petty Officer Chris Church went with Airman on a journey that will last a lifetime.
The sun is rising over Busan Harbor, and for a group of airmen from Osan Air Base, it's a good day for an unexpected adventure.
Actually, coming down here was an impulse decision. I was in the gym one day and my buddy said, "Hey, do you want to go do a swim with sharks?" And we decided to come and do it. Everyone's been on the opposite side of that glass looking in, and I don't know about everyone else, but I've always wondered what it was like to be in the tank with the fish.
The adventure starts with some basic diving skills taught by an aquatic frontier dive instructor. Soon after, participants plunge into a tank filled with black-tip reef sharks, white-tip reef sharks, and sand tiger sharks. They also get a chance to swim alongside giant groupers, short-tail stingrays, and spotted eagle rays.
Terror was the first thing that went through my mind. Just straight, unadulterated, pure fear is what went through. So I did exactly what the instructor said, which was don't move, and I froze like a statue.
After 45 minutes underwater, the airmen no longer have to look in and wonder what it's like to swim alongside the aquatic predators.
This was the most surreal experience, second only to the birth of my daughter. So it was amazing, it was enlightening, it was very humbling and exciting because I'm going to come back and do it again.
Petty Officer Chris Church, Busan, Korea.
Service members can sign up for their chance to swim with sharks at aquaticfrontier.com. That was Around the Peninsula for Thursday, March 6, 2014. From all of us at AFN, enjoy your evening.
During a combat mission in Iraq in 2004, Lieutenant Colonel Tammy Duckworth's helicopter was hit by an RPG, resulting in the loss of both her legs. Duckworth overcame her injuries and went on to work with the Veterans Administration, and now is a member of the U.S. House of Representatives.
I'm running to serve Illinois' 8th Congressional District.
Celebrate Women's History Month.
She's crazy. What the devil's a woman want to be a soldier for?
Just a waste of time. This is a man's war. What sort of jobs can they do?
Women in today's military support every aspect of the mission. You are a part of women's history. Celebrate your legacy.
Tune in for an AFN Pacific special, a conversation with General Ray Odierno, the Chief of Staff of the Army, on March 8th at 6:30 on AFN Prime Pacific.